Welcome to Sports News. The Super Falcons of Nigeria have qualified for the third round of the 2016 Rio Olympic Games qualifier without even kicking a ball against opponents Mali. The reigning African champions are expected to host the West African foes in the first clash of the two-legged encounter on Saturday at the Abuja National Stadium. However, Mali have written to the Nigeria Football Federation indicating their decision to withdraw from further campaign in the race for a place in the football event of the global multiple sports showpiece in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. A Tunisian club, Espérance, have not given up on a sensational swoop for Flying Eagles striker Taiwo Awoniyi, as they will send a high-powered delegation led by the club's president to Germany to convince him to sign for them. Espérance are ready to further break the bank to sign Awoniyi, who's shown at the recent African Youth Championship in Senegal after they signed his Flying Eagles teammate Bernard Boubois. Reports say Espérance have made a first offer of $1.2 million for the 17-year-old striker to outsmart potential threats from Portuguese giants FC Porto, Scottish champions Celtic and Austrian club Red Bull Salzburg. The Nigeria Football Federation, the NFF, has ordered the Nigeria National League to expel any club that fails to complete its registration formalities before the kickoff of the second-tier league. The NFF also authorized the management of the NNL to slam a heavy fine on erring clubs should they fail to complete their registration formalities. While the Nigeria National League has suffered a series of postponements following the failure of about 13 clubs to meet the criteria set for participation in the league. Well, injured Liverpool striker Daniel Sturridge is expected to resume training in September. Sturridge underwent a successful hip operation in the USA last week. Now, the 25-year-old scored some 24 goals from 33 appearances last season, but has played only 18 matches for the Reds this term. He's just played twice since he picked up the injury in that 2-1 defeat to Manchester United on March the 22nd. A World Soccer governing body FIFA says abandoned World Cup qualifiers will be restarted from the point that the clock stopped, or the introduction of the rule that will see abandoned games restarted from the same point comes a month after the same regulation was employed in England. That's the Women's European Under-19 Championship match against Norway. Well, that game was restarted with 3 minutes of injury time to be played, and England 2-1 down with a penalty to take following a refereeing error. Players must also produce a valid passport some 24 hours before kickoff to reduce eligibility infringements. In 2014 World Cup qualifying groups, ineligible players proved the biggest administrative problem for FIFA. Serena Williams' stunning 27-match winning streak stretching back to last year's WTA finals was snapped in a resounding fashion by Petra Kvitova as the Czech progressed to the Madrid Open final 6-2, 6-3. Kvitova has only recently returned to the tour after a 2-month break after admitting to feeling physically and mentally exhausted. But then she looked the fresher player in wrapping up victory in just over an hour on court. Kvitova will face Russia's Svetlana Kuznetsova in Saturday's final after she also pulled off a big upset in beating the defending champion Maria Sharapova 6-2, 6-4. 2 days after saying he would be open to a rematch with Manny Pacquiao on beaten American Floyd Mayweather Jr., reversed course while describing Pacquiao as a sore loser. Mayweather expressed his disgust that Pacquiao had blamed an injured right shoulder for his defeat in the so-called fight of the century in Las Vegas, United States. Well, the Filipino lost to Mayweather on Saturday in the richest prize fight ever before undergoing a successful arthroscopic surgery on his right shoulder some 4 days later. And that's a wrap on Sports News. I'm Ayotunde Balogun. The rest of the news at 10 continues shortly.
Despite detention in his country, Burundi's president has submitted an application to the National Electoral Commission to seek a third term. That's a move likely to stoke more anger among those protesting against his bid for another 5 years in office. Saturday is the deadline for prospective candidates to submit their applications to the CENI Election Commission. That explains why he did the submission today. Here's Cynthia Are with more.
Well, thank you. President Nkurunziza's bid for a third term has plunged Burundi into its worst crisis since the end of the civil war that pitted rebels from the ethnic Hutu majority against the then Tutsi-led army and killed about 300,000 people. It is also raising tensions in a region with a history of ethnic conflict. Zimbabwe's President Robert Mugabe and his South African counterpart, President Jacob Zuma, arrived this morning to the Russian capital Moscow as Russia prepared to show off its mighty military strength at a large May 9 victory parade celebrating the same 70th anniversary of World War II victory over Nazis in Germany. Finally, audits released by Malian authorities suggest that Mali has lost more than $261 million to fraud and mismanagement in the 2 years before ex-president Amadou Toumani Touré was toppled in a 2012 army coup that replaced him. The Auditor General's reports for 2010 and 2011 said forged documents were used to justify spending. Well, that's the foreign news wrap-up. It's back to you, Sulaiman.
Many thanks, Cynthia. On entertainment news, lawmaker-elect Desmond Elliott returns to filmmaking. Here's Mayo Agundale with details and other trending entertainment stories.
News tonight. Nigerian celebrity couple Tunde and Wunmi Obe, performing as two, have released their 5th studio album 5 years after their last album. The album, which is titled 2+, receives collaborations on almost all the tracks from other contemporary acts, including Two-Face, Nice, Dame Crane, Segun Obe, and others.
Due to popular demand from our fans and everyone, we decided that we were going to base a lot of the songs on this album on collabos. We're going to do invite a lot of our fellow artists and do collabos with them on the album.
Actor cum director turned politician Desmond Elliott has returned to a movie set to direct and act in Iyabo Ojo's Black Valentine weeks before resuming office as a lawmaker in the Lagos State House of Assembly. He leads other Nollywood favorites, including Iyabo Ojo, Eniola Badmus, Antalanio, and others in the movie many suspect will be his last major work in Nollywood until he stops being a lawmaker.
Black Val. I like it because we border on relationships, family relationships, the husband, wife, kid.
And on new music, dancehall artist Cynthia Morgan is out with a visual interpretation of a song titled Come and Do, in which she performs as a sexy female mechanic. Also, music star D'banj is out with a video for his song Extraordinary as part of a campaign against poverty. The video features cameo appearances from American superstars including will.i.am, Common, Usher, Chris Martin, and Congolese star Fally Ipupa.
In light of the day, what I found out, no more I don't know. When I got close to her, through the night of that day, and I saw what I saw, I was blown.
And that's all on entertainment tonight. Thank you so much for watching. The main news continues shortly.
The main news again. British Prime Minister David Cameron has vowed to make Britain greater after the Conservative Party was earlier today announced winner of majority seats in the UK Parliament, with 4 going to Nigerian-born Britons. Thousands of Nigerians have fled border towns in Niger to Yobe State following Boko Haram attacks. The Inspector General of Police insists the order removing roadblocks stays, that anyone found flouting that will be made to face the wrath of the law. And tension has been on the rise in Burundi as President Pierre Nkurunziza today submitted application to seek third term in office despite protest against his bid. That's the news at 10 tonight. Many thanks for watching.